It all began with a letter stuffed in a cheap plastic sleeve, zip-tied to my mailbox like a badge of shame. The envelope screamed in all caps, courtesy of the Oak Summit HOA's reigning autocrat, Linda Harper, self-proclaimed president, treasurer, and arbiter of neighborhood VYRDO. The letter accused me of violating light fixture decorum, a rule I didn't even know existed, claiming my green porch bulb threw off the streets, soul harmony. Apparently, the soft green light I'd chosen for Mental Health Awareness Month was, in Linda's words, jarring and caused unease during twilight strolls. I figured it was a mix-up until I saw her handwritten note at the bottom. This is your only warning. The HOA doesn't tolerate defiance. Defiance? Over a light bulb? That's when I realized Linda wasn't just enforcing rules, she was carving out her own suburban empire. Within a week, a DULA 50 fine Aravedno discussion, no notice. I tried calling the HOA office, but it was just a dusty voicemail of Linda butchering the word conformity and urging callers to leave a tidy and courteous message. I emailed her instead tuitionally to get a reply from lharper@songoakridge.net. It's not about the bulb. It's about unity. That's when I knew I wasn't dealing with a homeowners association. I was in a standoff with a woman who gauged power in watts and warnings. Days later, Linda slipped a new rule into the HOA handbook. All outdoor lights must be warm white, under 800 lumens, unless cleared via Form 12C. Guess who got denied Form 12C 3 times in a row? A neighbor whispered that Linda had measured my bulb's glow from the street with the phone app, storing EVY-DNK in a Google Drive folder labeled Illumination Offenses High Priority. She was building a dossier like I was the mastermind of Porch chaos. The hypocrisy? Linda's own front yard blazed with 2 halogen floodlights bright enough to signal ships. When I raised this at the next HOA meeting, she smirked and said, "Executive fixtures are exempt." Executive fixtures. It was clear she wasn't just enforcing rules, she was inventing them, applying them selectively, and wrapping it all in red tape. A neighbor, Mike, quipped, "Next, she'll fine us for the VYB of our doorbells." We chuckled until someone got a citation for dissonant wind chimes that evoked unrest. I refused to pay the fine on principle, which sparked a late fee, then a lien threat all over a porch light. My partner, Sarah, tossed out the ultimate Linda-baiting idea. Why don't we appeal? We gathered photos of Linda's blinding lights, pointed out the lack of due process, and hand-delivered our appeal. The next morning, our mailbox was ajar, the appeal gone. Security footage caught Linda in a bathrobe and flip-flops, snatching the letter while muttering, "Not today." I sent the VYDO to the HOA's oversight board. Surprise, it was just Linda's sister-in-law, Diane. Diane's reply? No misconduct detected. Linda was securing postal safety. I started wondering if we'd stumbled into a sitcom dystopia. Meanwhile, our green porch light became a symbol. Neighbors asked about it. Some swapped their bulbs to green in solidarity. First a handful, then a dozen, then half the block. Linda fired back with a bulletin called The Assault on Ambience, threatening daily fines unless the street returned to cohesive lighting. That bulletin flipped a switch in me. If she thought one light was trouble, she had no clue what was coming. The morning after the green light wave hit, Linda unleashed her counterstrike, a memo titled Operation Community Cohesion. It landed on every doorstep, glossy cardstock, oak leaf logo, packed with phrases like aesthetic purity, mandatory neutrality, and the gem, Indie VY dual flare must not fracture collective peace. My house, dubbed Ground Zero of the Hue Uprising, was listed as Zone 1, Non-Compliance Epicenter. Linda claimed my light caused pet agitation and driver disorientation. I read it twice to check for satire. No. That day, a new rule passed without a vote. No colored or pulsing outdoor lights, period. I hadn't even considered pulsing lights, but the phrase stuck in my head like a challenge. Sarah grinned and said, "She's asking for it." After confirming no city laws ban programmable lights, I spent $79.99 on a Wi-Fi RGB bulb with endless color options, syncing it to my speaker's base. That night, Linda woke to my porch throbbing like a club at 2:17 a.m. Each beat from my playlist boom flashed red, blue, green, purple, a rainbow strobe fest. We were cackling so hard we almost missed Linda storming out in a kimono, hair in curlers, clutching a notepad and a garden trowel. She yelled at my house like it was alive. "I demand silence. This isn't a light district." I flicked on the ring mic and said, "City code allows it, Linda. File a formal complaint." She shrieked, "I am the complaint." and stomped off with Oscar-worthy drama. Linda doubled down, mailing warnings about unsanctioned light protests. One neighbor, Tom, got cited for a cluttered welcome mat font. Another got dinged for a lawn flamingo with ambiguous posture. Linda had gone full dictator, patrolling with a clipboard like a mall cop with a vendetta. My house became a local attraction. Neighbors brought beers and lawn chairs to watch the light show. One guy started a slow clap when the colors peaked. Linda, leave VYD, parked across the street to log violations live. Then I spotted her new trick. A birdhouse camera aimed at my porch. I reported it to city code enforcement, who said, filming private property without consent violates municipal law. Linda got a warning and had to ditch her spy nest. Her next move? An emergency HOA resolution to ban Wi-Fi lights entirely. I fired back with a public email showing her own tech violations, motion sensors, floodlights, the works. The neighborhood erupted. People had endured Linda's reign for years, but now she was threatening their freedom to light their own homes. A petition to re-VYEW her HOA conduct gained steam, but Linda went low, dropping flyers claiming, colorful lights attract crime, think of the kids. Sarah snapped, planting a yard sign. This home glows with joy. Kids welcome. That night, we threw a light freedom barbecue strobe on funk mode. Neighbors grilled burgers, raised cups, and danced while Linda glared from her driveway like a cartoon VY lane. But Linda wasn't done. 2 days later, a confidential health alert envelope hit my mat. Comic Sans screaming medical safety re-VYEW. Inside, a 6-page screed from Linda, now interim HOA wellness director, claimed my lights risked photosensitive neurological distress, seizures, headaches, even emotional imbalance. She cited a 2003 blog called Brainwave Weekly, run by a guy peddling crystal bracelets. She'd hired a consultant, Dr. Harold Finch, a 76-year-old acupuncturist posing as a light impact expert. He showed up in a tweed vest, waved a pendulum at my porch, and declared, "This wavelength agitates the psyche." Linda clapped like he'd cured cancer, emailing his diagnosis to everyone with the subject, "Proof it's harmful." Most ignored her, but one neighbor, Mr. Ellis, panicked and called his optometrist. I countered with real data studies from the Epilepsy Foundation and lighting safety boards showing my lights were harmless. My HOA forum post, "Lights are fun, not fatal," got 42 likes in hours. Linda's Finch post got 3, including her own. Desperate, she targeted parents with flyers, "Will your child suffer next?" with a photoshopped kid cowering from my porch. A neighbor reported the illegal mail stuffing to the city. The inspector, Carla, asked Linda, "Got any medical credentials?" Linda's reply, "I'm a mother." "That's enough." Carla scribbled, "Not a qualification." Vendor. Finch got busted by local news selling light cleanse kits from his van using my house in his ads. He got a cease and desist. I framed his Yelp review calling my porch a photon hazard, and hung it by my door. Linda tried forcing a vote to control all outdoor lights, claiming unregulated glow is a public health crisis. At her backyard meeting, lit by faint string lights like sad fireflies, she pitched to 25 fed-up homeowners. Mid-speech, someone yelled, "Linda, my kid's phone screen is brighter than his future. Your seizure talk is nonsense." Another asked, "Why do your floodlights blind raccoons nightly?" Linda faltered. Then Lisa, a neighbor, stood with a real neurologist's note saying my lights were safe. Linda stammered, but colors caused tension. Someone muttered, "So does this meeting." The vote tanked 0-4-24 against. Linda's health scare flopped, but she wasn't out. When propaganda failed, she turned to spying. It started small, Linda peering through blinds during our porch parties, jotting notes like a rogue auditor. Then came the wildlife cameras on trees and lampposts, all angled at my house or her critics. One was taped inside a ceramic owl across from me, another hid in a fake rock. Lisa found one in a plastic squirrel. Linda had gone full surveillance state. The last straw? A flower pot by our fence with a blinking light and a glued-on leaf. I posted a photo to the HOA forum, "When your HOA thinks it's the CIA." Neighbors piled on, sharing their own finds cameras and bird feeders, garden gnomes. Linda claimed they were soil moisture sensors. Lisa shot back, "Linda, your lawn's plastic." I installed legal cameras, one aimed at her pot. Footage caught Linda at midnight, in zebra pajamas, swapping its memory card with a flashlight in her teeth like a suburban bandit. I posted the clip online, Big Brother, but make it petty. Then I noticed something else in the footage: Linda dumping trash bags behind her shed, not in HOA-approved bins. Soda cans, cereal boxes, a broken blender, loose VY Cybele, a Dula 75 V violation by her own rules. We didn't strike right away. Lisa suggested a VY viewing party. We and VY Ted the HOA board, projected the VY Deo in my garage, and roared as Linda broke her own laws. Popcorn flew. The next day I filed a 20-page complaint. Linda's backyard trash bash, with screenshots, timestamps, and a camera map. The HOA board, sick of her antics, called a hearing. Linda arrived in a sun hat and shades, toting a binder labeled My Truth. She claimed my footage was hacked, and her yard was private. Board member Ellen smirked. You hid a camera in a squirrel, Linda. Linda blamed stray dogs for the trash. The VY Deo showed her dumping it. She cried, "Defake." Mike snorted so hard he left the room. The board fined her Dula $500 for multiple violations, using her own penalty chart, and ordered her cameras gone or she'd face daily fees. That night, we watched her rip down her spy gear from birdhouses and pots, MOVYing like a general whose army had ditched her. But Linda's squirrel cam caught something bigger. Lisa and I were combing its footage for laughs: raccoons, Linda yelling at clouds, her groove VYing to disco when we hit a file, rearpath_3 a.m. 2 weeks back, Grainy Night VY Sound showed a man in an HOA vest, not Linda, hauling black totes behind the community shed with another guy and a dolly of boxes. More clips showed similar late-night drops, different people, same vests, always sneaky. Mike's cousin, a warehouse guy, ID'd the boxes. That's not storage. That's a drop point. Lisa and I checked the shed. It looked abandoned: peeling paint, clothes for repairs, sign, but had a shiny keypad lock. At the next HOA meeting, Linda rushed the agenda, but I asked, who uses the shed now? She paled. It's unsafe, full of rats. Lisa slapped down the cam stills. Then why's it a midnight hub? Linda grabbed her bag. Meeting's over, but the spark was lit. Group chats buzzed. Theories flew: stolen goods, fake permits. Tom, the quiet guy, noticed the shed had new vents and a power line. That's climate control, not cobwebs. We set a cam alert on the alley. It pinged Linda, lugging totes to the shed, emerging with unlabeled lotion bottles. A record search tied her email to Harper's Glow. An unlicensed skincare hustle run from the shed since 2021, likely using HOA utilities. This wasn't petty, it was fraud. The oversight board, stacked with Linda's pals, stonewalled us, calling it gossip. So we went nuclear, invoking a 1998 bylaw for a community recall vote. We needed 40 fan-tram of homeowners' signatures in 48 hours. We got 65 fan-tram. Linda didn't see it coming. She thought she was bulletproof, rigged bylaws, loyal cronies. But her shed scam and squirrel cam backfired. Sarah made a flyer, time to unplug Linda. It spread like wildfire. Linda tried voiding the petition, claiming signatures lacked sincere intent. No dice. She showed up at my door clutching papers. You'll ruin our unity, she hissed. I smiled. That's the point, Linda. We see you now. The county sent a no-nonsense moderator, Karen, ironic, right? Who swatted down Linda's delay tactics. We're not here for your feelings. We're here for your actions. Signs popped up: no more Linda, free the shed. A VY Ral VY Deo, tyranny on the lawn, zoomed on Linda's face with soap opera music. Linda's livestream defends: her cat in a tie, wind chimes jingling, blamed cultural chaos, and bad VY Bess. Nobody bought it. She'd fined a kid for overly festive chalk. Her cred was ash. Election day packed the community center. Lemonade flowed, and a Girl Scout, Emma, fined by Linda for excessive lemonade stand flare, guarded the sign-in sheet. Linda voted last, proclaiming, "I vote for me for order." Someone slow-clapped. Karen tallied twice, 87 fan-tram for removal. Linda was ousted. Lisa brought a cake. Good riddance, Linda. Linda muttered about disloyal peasants and stormed out, her scarf catching in the door. We cheered not for her exit but for our VY Tory. That night, porches glowed every color. The shed was sealed for city re-VYEW. Linda vanished, no emails, no fines. But she wasn't done. 2 weeks later, a letter hit every mailbox. Harper v. Oak Summit HOA, suing for Dula $200,000, claiming light-induced trauma and mob harassment. She wanted her title back and a public apology. Filed in small claims, it was pure theater, no lawyer would touch it. At the hearing, Linda wore a fake neck brace, blaming recall strain. Judge Carter, unimpressed, cited her binder, Exhibit Z, my pain log. Linda ranted about strobe torment and Lisa's barbecue dance causing VY Shaun lapses. Her VY Denke? A Reddit thread calling her extra. Our lawyer showed Linda's own violation letters, her stealing my appeal, her spying on Tom's trash. The kicker, her old newsletter calling us a den of aesthetic anarchy. Carter asked, so you were stressed before the bulb? Linda sputtered, the lights provoked my soul. In a final flail, Linda strobed a flashlight in her own face, yelling, this is their cruelty. She tripped into a chair, which collapsed. Tom deadpanned. Intentional. Carter tossed the case as frivolous nonsense, ordering Linda to pay Dula $4,200 in HOA fees. Someone hummed a sitcom jingle as she shuffled out. Linda's U-Haul came on a gray Tuesday. No goodbye, just her loading boxes in silence. A day later, a notice claimed she'd gifted her lot drought-friendly plants. Suspicious, we watched. Contractors laid gravel, boxy shrubs shaped like rude gestures, and a rock scrawled, good luck without me. We called it the Spite Sprout. The new owners, Jen and Nate, arrived confused when their sprinklers blasted Sweet Caroline at 4 a.m. Linda's parting prank. The yard also pooled into a muddy mess after rain rigged to drain slow. Under a fake stone, a note, you didn't earn me, but you'll miss my order. We didn't. The HOA gutted the Spite yard, planting flowers and a welcome sign. Linda's rock got a gold paint job and a plaque, to chaos posing as control. Jen and Nate joined our light parties, and the saga became lore. Dogwalkers point at Linda's old lot, that's where the great bulb battle ended. Linda's exit didn't erase her, she left a legacy of absurd shrubs and rogue sprinklers. But it bonded us. Her control obsession birthed a rebellion that outshone her. The HOA now hosts a light fest, bulbs blazing in every shade. Emma's mom, Claire, runs the board, no secret cameras, just potlucks and fair rules. The bylaws shrank to 10 pages with a Linda clause. No solo rulemaking. Word is, Linda moved to a condo complex, tried running their board, and got nicknamed the Bulb Banshee. She pushed to ban neon signs, they voted her out. Back here, kids play HOA spy, issuing fake fines like too many sunflowers. Linda's photo hangs in the community center not for glory, but as a warning, next to her rocks before and after. Caption: don't lead like this. Her real punishment wasn't a finite, was becoming a punchline. Linda wanted order, we found freedom. Her war on a bulb lit up our nights, and we're brighter for it. Rest in petty, Linda. We've got the glow from here.